Hi, Doovie. All right. Check, check. Check, check. There we go, that's better. That's there. And we can pull this up here. Okay, should be good. This will go over here. Okay. Hello to all y'all. Hi, Tin Can and Hydra Airplane and Celestin Fax, and Phantomu, Sleepy Phantomu, and Eddie Barnett, and David Barry, and Puzzled Grain, and Nookie, and Awesome K910, and Fizzy, and Anai, and Splat3, big fan, also a big fan of that game, and OxyClean.com, and Cougar C, and Nico Tosca. Not over the long weekend, yesterday was Monday. And Robostelli, and Fancy Games, and Cloudy, and Matatax. I'm tired of schoolwork, though. Yeah, so am I. And Fia. What is Thanksgiving? You're Canadian! You have Thanksgiving, too. It's just a different time. Get off my back here. Hi, Liv, and Ben, and Oyo Queen. Do you like that whenever you announce something, it gets reacted to with Nordic flags? Yeah, it's kind of neat. And Dasky, and Moki Cream. Okay. And Blue, and Ember, and Annie, and Smuggerooful. What the gem doing? The butter gem. The gem with the butter. I don't actually have butter on me in any way. Hi, Jibo. Canadian Thanksgiving in Detroit. It's basically like a. It's almost to Canada. It's like right there. Probably got some Canadian influence. What is Thanksgiving? Well, nowadays it's day commemorating just things we're thankful for. So like the fact that we have families and we're rich enough to have food is that's pretty solid. But also it was originally commemorative of the settlement of the United States by colonizers, which has fallen a little bit out of favor lately among some circles. So people, you know, the Hallmark variety of it tends to just focus on the family aspect of it. We have not historically done especially kind things to the natives who live here, so we kind of just, we gloss over that part. Some sort of list of notable pro players so I can get better recognizing who I'm playing with against. Not that I'm aware of immediately. It's the sort of thing that, like, if you go to a bunch of tournaments, like if you compete often enough, you'll see the same kinds of names cropping up in the leaderboards. So. where you get together with family and have an awkward dinner where everyone tries not to talk about politics. And it ends up coming up anyway, because politics are a fundamental driving factor of our lives, whether we choose to acknowledge them or not. So, yeah, it's, it kind of just depends on how similar you are to your family, I guess. Because if you don't get along with them, then you're probably not going to enjoy a holiday in which the whole point is to spend time with them. But hey, the food's pretty good. You can't knock that. I don't get too far into the colonizing discussion here, but I definitely find more fault in one side than the other of those proceedings. Anyway. I am looking for a couple of players here. We've got... So today for our VOD review, we definitely have TW Neo, which is, we had another Neo signed up for 2 weeks from now, and so it's a little confusing. But they are our VOD reviewee for the day, and I believe I have footage from them. I have footage of them back from October. There might be more like more recent stuff that they would probably prefer I look at, but we can look over that if nothing else. I do also have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 pictures of horses from Neo, which are more recent, and we can definitely review those. But then there is another VOD reviewee, Anastasia, who unfortunately has COVID and is down pretty bad from it, like has been in bed, not able to do too much for like 12 days. Really unfortunate there. If we do manage to get a replay code from them, we'll at least go over something for them, but they will definitely not be joining us in terms of playing the game. So definitely best wishes for them to get better from that. Obviously not a place that anybody wants to be. One second, I just got the blanket that I was being all snuggly with in, it got caught in the rolling wheels of my chair. So I'm gonna need to get down there and get Pro Chair to let go so that I can remove that because it's getting too warm. Be right back. It is a very good and soft and floofy blanket. And it is in fact doing its job of making things warm. However, that is not a job that I desire to be done at the moment. Okay. Excuse me. Thought that was a joke. Did you seriously name your chair? Why not? The chair belongs to the chat, you know? I sit in it, but they talk about it. So yeah, I've been messing around a little bit with this thing. Because I'm gonna have to make a video about it eventually. Might as well have half an idea what I'm doing on it. Sometimes I'm very confused about when the melee hitbox is actually going to connect and when it's not. Anyway. If it belongs to the chat, then why can't we sit in it? Because you don't get to learn where I live. You're only allowed to sit in things you don't own? Move the chat box over the chair. Okay. So that leaves us in a position where if Neo does not respond here, then it doesn't look like we have any of the VOD reviewees available. So what we might end up doing here is just dropping in and playing a little bit of solo. I'm about to sneeze. Excuse me. Always got to find the most not designated spot for you to sit in. See, look at this. Why does that happen? It's like I'm swinging this thing. Why there? Why is this? I'm swinging from the right side of my body. Why does that miss? I bet the animation for this physically passes through this dummy. There we go. There we go. The hitbox has a narrow hitbox. Very well said. Definitely exactly what you meant. Do you think it'd be a good habit to get into to do a booyah to get into what? To do a booyah for using booyah? I'm very confused. I think what you're saying is, would it be a good idea to booyah before you use booyah? And I don't think people are going to really understand what you're doing if that happens. I guess if your goal is to trick them into booyahing back so they charge your booyah for you, then maybe that actually does something. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I know all the game design reasons why it's like that. But just like, if I'm swinging a sword from here, I'm gonna hit that guy by mistake, even if I'm not aiming at him. It's kind of... They don't need to make this hitbox smaller, is the point here. It's already quite small. Let's just like let us whack people with it, huh? If I get up close, I want my whack. Bam, like that. Both crab tank firing modes at the same time by holding both buttons. So it's really kind of alternating between the two. Whenever you're holding down R, it's interrupting the rapid fire, and so the rapid fire starts over again, and you're not gonna get up to full speed or anything like that. Yeah. I didn't know about that, but I guess that's because nobody's doing it. Just stopping by real quick, wanted to say thanks for your content. Oh, thank you. I'm glad that you appreciate it. Your awareness videos basically taught me what I lacked most and led me above S plus 10 so much faster. So rising and learning, awesome. The learning part is the most important one. My leftover coping mechanism from trying to understand fighting game hitboxes. Don't take this from... Yeah, I mean, yeah. I too have been hit by a Jigglypuff back air that did not make contact at all, and yet still did damage. Hitbox has narrow hitbox. Has a narrow hitboxes. Yes, exactly. Very good, very good. Good correction. I guess not. Thought they had fixed it. Any tips for Splatbrella? So, see, what we just saw in Crab Tank wasn't something that needed to be fixed. If there was something that needed to be fixed, like if it did actually fire at full speed and you could still fire the explo shots, like, okay, yeah, that's a little excessive. That's a little bit more than you probably need. But you cry every time someone squid bags you. No, only when I squid bag. As a way to inform your teammates that you're about to use a special. See, that's not a thing that I think they're going to recognize. The only way that I see that actually working is you booyah, and then thanks to the social convention that when one of your teammates booyahs, you're supposed to booyah back, you trick everybody into booyahing to fill up your special. And then that's how you get your booyah charge faster. That's what I could see being the utility of that. Can you convince us Stamp and Mines together are a good idea for Ink Brush? Not in good faith, no. If there's a reason, if I'm being sponsored by Big Ink Brush Nouveau, you know, if someone's dropping some coin here, we'll talk about it, and I'll put my influencer marketing to good use here. But until the Nouveau company or whatever it is that Ink Brush Nouveau is actually made from, because the word nouveau just means new, and I can't imagine that that's a thing people will trademark. Until that happens, I'm firmly on Team Vanilla Ink Brush right now. I don't think mines are particularly good for Ink Brush. Like, yeah, it can use them, as can most weapons. Is it better than a bomb? No. I can't think of a single weapon that would prefer an ink mine to a splat bomb. Minus for traps, the hammer is your bomb. It's not a bomb you're going to be able to throw an awful lot then. I think a video about the Deco Slosher, and I don't know why they gave it that kit. There are some parts of that that could work if the parts of it were better. I definitely, like, having thought about it and, like, listened to what others have to say about it, I think, like, if those specials, or if the Zipcaster lasted longer or had armor or something, and the line marker did something, then I feel like it might have some synergy there. Like, that could be interesting. But until those things are true, the kit is just very undertuned. It's very weak. So, like, a difference that Prochara likes to make a lot and that I think is valid is a kit too strong or too weak? And is a kit well or poorly designed? And those are two different questions. Because strength and weakness are things that you can change, like, one number in the code and immediately have an easy fix for. The poor or good design aspects of it are a lot harder to fix because they're usually fundamental issues. So, like, I think Stamp is fundamentally flawed from a design perspective. I just don't think that special works very well in this video game where we have projectiles. We either make the Stamp so powerful that it's very frustrating to ever get it close range with, and you're just always going to die if that happens, or you make it weak enough that it's always just going to be too easy to kite or circle around or something. It's very difficult to make a Stamp that works and doesn't feel terrible for one of the two parties. But Zipcaster's really cool. And if they made it so it was a little longer, or so that it had maybe a little bit of armor on it, or something, it needs a little something something. I think duration would be probably the best way to add to it, because just making it last a little bit longer means you can do more stuff with it, and that's really a cool concept. Because a lot of the time you just don't get anything done with it. A lot of the time you, like, use it and the other team plays defensively and stays out of the range of it. And, like, you only really catch someone off if they don't know what angles are available to the Zipcaster on that map. And the days of that being the case are pretty numbered. Like, even that thing where you could, like, phase through Sturgeon's floor is something where, like, if you know that's coming and you see a Stamper heading towards that side of the map, you just, like, maybe lay a bomb there or something, just in case, you know? You see them suddenly, like, vanish off the side, you're like, oh, well, here they come. Because you know what wall they have to jump up, and they rise up, and they're like, oh, hey, suction bomb, very neat, thanks, guys. So, I don't know. That kit's definitely not stronger, I don't think, but I also don't think that Tri-Strike was doing the Vanilla Slosher any favors. I think that special is considerably weaker than I first thought. I don't feel like it's even... People will throw a Tri-Strike at me, and it doesn't even, like, stop me from continuing the fight I'm in. It just makes me move within that fight and then keep it going from that new position. Like, I don't feel like it forces anybody to move enough. I don't think it has enough threat. So, that's where I'm at. My commentary is very funny. My commentary on... Stamp? No, as Ultra Stamp. Not Splatana. I would say Stamper, if that was what I meant. And this is why people just call it Hammer instead. I guess they got into too much trouble with moms from North America for the hammer that's in Super Smash Brothers. They're like, hey, they're hitting someone with a sledgehammer. How is that not more violent? Why they gotta keep doing this to Dapple? Dapple deserves a good kit, you know? It really, the main weapon is not that great. I don't understand why they keep, like, giving it kits that don't suit it very well, or, like, make it play as a support weapon, or, like, give it something it can use to get in. Give it something it can use to poke, like, let it fight if you're gonna give it massive DPS and, like, these really cool dodge rolls. It just doesn't feel good to play a lot of the time unless the opponents let you get away with something that they don't have to. Nobody has ever been hurt by a sledgehammer. It's an urban legend. You know, you're right. I hate when kids learn to maul people with sledgehammers because of the hit video game Super Smash Bros. Right. Exactly. Give Dapple Zip. May not be meta, but it would at least be fun. Yeah, Dapples with Zip would be neat. Like, you could get up on a wall, jump over, and then roll over the ledge and immediately be in dodge roll. Like, that'd be sick. That'd be fun. As soon as Zipcaster gets buffs, like, that thing is scary. Fizzy and Stamp or Zip? Fizzy's gonna play a lot more differently than Stamper's Zip. I don't know if that's something that helps it that much. You think L3 is still underrated, or has your opinion changed? I think it's one of those weapons that's like... It shouldn't be written off as useless. Like, if you run into one in solo, you do have to respect its strengths. But also, in a competitive context... Since it's outclassed, there's not as much of a reason to use it. Like, you will still prefer Splash over an L3 for the vast majority of reasons. So, you're probably not going to see it very much at all. It has the same problem of the Forge Pro from Splatoon 2. That weapon wasn't bad, it's just that Squeezer existed. So if Squeezer exists, why do you need this thing that has the same special, but worse range, worse ink efficiency, about the same kill time, and, like, it just doesn't add up. Oh, and also, the Squeezer paints better with its painting mode, so, yeah. There wasn't much of a reason to go from one to the other once the foil Squeezer had that kit. It was really just two weapons competing for the same niche, and there was one that was clearly better for the vast majority of applications. Nice video of every Squid School streams ever. Well, hello, and thank you for the virtual hugs, Natalia Marlene. New aerospray is going to be every Splatzone's player's first night. Not really. All that aerospray is going to do is paint, and then somebody with longer range is going to walk up to it, and it's going to be like, oh no, I need to run away. Ah! It's going to get a lot of booyah bombs, which is going to be annoying. But annoying does not necessarily mean good. Annoying needs follow-up. Mincemeat and Sturgeon tower control. Let's run a little 52. Let's do the 52. We'll play a couple of rounds and then we'll get into the VOD reviews. I'm just waiting to see if we're gonna get Neo to hop in or if we're gonna get footage from Anastasia. Man, this is already getting warm. Why is it so warm? Why does playing video games make you warmer? This doesn't make sense. If you could change aerospray to be competitively viable, what would you do? I feel like conceptually it has flaws. Like, it just doesn't have any stopping power. There's no way that an aerospray is going to stop an opponent from moving toward it in a reliable way. It's just going to crumple like tissue paper every time that anything tries to push it. Like, from any range, from any angle, it's just going to lose. What? Ugh. I thought I was good behind the tower. Alright. Let's try not to die to the charger this time! Yeah, we won't die to the charger, we'll just die to this guy. No, we won't. That was a lie. Well, I'll hit him eventually. No, I won't. No, I really won't. Okay. And now, we pop this up here, do this, and this player is down. And now we have all of this space. And we just have to not get sniped. Oh my god, what is this weapon's accuracy? We'll hit him eventually. There we go. Okay. Okay, we're good. Oh my god, I ran out of ink. And game. Okay, that was very messy at the end, but it worked. Hitbox is smaller when staying on the tower than squid form? Not vertically. That's for sure. I would have to... I mean, so... In the general case... What's gonna happen is... Okay, let's get out of this menu. And everybody shows up. Hi, Brandon. So, like, you look at, like, what my body looks like here. When I go down, yeah, there's some, like, I'm longer. Like, if, like, I'm sideways to an E-liter or something, standing up, I'm going to be skinnier compared to the tower pole. Now, if I do this, that's different. This should be about the same from the way it looks anyway. Like, so, there are some ways, yes, but in terms of, like, overall area presented to the opponent, you're definitely a much smaller target in squid form. Like, I'm basically like this little dot, or this little guy right here. Whereas here, I'm a whole person. Long squid. Yes, yes. Squid's long. Alright. I heard someone say that the Aerospray PG, the Burst Bomb Booyah Bomb kit, was the best kit an Aerospray can possibly get. I'm not sure how much I agree with that. I don't know that... I feel like a Splat Bomb could be fine with it as well. But it's definitely really nice to have that long-range poke. I feel like torpedoes could be really good for it. So, there's some ideas there, but it's not a great main weapon in general. Well, they're like, my whole team is dead. This is the perfect time to get onto the tower. Alright. Not too bad. We held the ground. We got one player out of there. Tower push was able to continue. And we keep this going. Yes, we can. It's my plat now. Well, we'll hit him eventually, won't we? No, we won't. Oh, we will! Never mind, I lied. I like doing that. Lying is fun. You should lie more, kids. Oh, stop that. Stop that. Hey, no, 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 bad, bad, bad. Hey, cut that out. Ugh. Well. We're gonna back all the way up. We're gonna pop this. Cut off their escape route. And then this guy's not even gonna get involved because they're still struggling to get on the tower. And we get this back. Jump across. Okay, fine, they jump across. They've been hiding behind that corner every time. Clear them out of there. Unfortunately, no fights were won out any further in front. So we're still only at 49, despite having held control for so long. All things considered, they held us pretty well there. Okay, they just dropped all the way off. And we know that because we saw them curling bomb over there. Okay, well. No. I am a shooter. I can shoot immediately. You cannot. Oh, crap. Well, that was a big whoops. That lost us a lot of time on tower. I would like to be able to jump across. Okay, we're just going to help on this side, because it looks like we're good on the other side. Oh, no, we're not good on the other side. There you go. Oh. I'm going to use this, because I don't want to be in range to hit them with my main weapon right now. Okay, we don't need the top right corner. We need to control the area around the checkpoint there. That's a mistake I see a lot of people make on this map in particular. When you get to second checkpoint, the threat is not from in front yet. The threat is from the ledge above. That's where everyone's going to try and defend it from. You really don't want to get too caught up in taking care of what's further in front of the tower, because they can just spawn in and drop right onto the tower if you leave that be. So, like, from here, get control of this, and, like, keep control of this while the tower is pushing through there, and only then worry about what's in front. You probably do want one person maybe going up in front, because otherwise it's really difficult to ever get in front. But it's also just, like, not the first priority. It's not what lets you keep control of the tower for the longest. Okay, the rain should get him. No! I'm surprised. Well, they have a DC. I don't know when that happened exactly, but feels bad, man. Well, man, imagine they win. Imagine they win off this push because we feed into this. Nah, they're off the tower. That's it. How whale works when not targeted, it follows your aim right after they fire. Left and right, up and down, move them together and apart. Yeah, hopefully you're targeting it on something. If you're not even aiming in the direction of anybody else, then you're probably not getting an awful lot out of it. Alright. We'll do one more, and then we'll get started with the VOD review. We do have at least one. But looking like it's a little bit more of a chill day. Haven't heard word from Neo. We do have a VOD, which again is a month old, but I mean, we'll take it. And Anastasia, unavailable. Tips on ballpoint. The advantage, as far as I can tell, of the ballpoint is your ability to sustain the long-range fire without as many breaks, with like breaks that aren't as long. So you're able to stay there and apply pressure for longer. You don't have to really commit and get stuff done with that one charge, because you're going to be able to spin up another one much faster and just kind of keep it going. So you're going to be able to hold your ground a lot better, a lot less like moving forward and back. Oh. Well, my teammate moved directly in front of me, which is unfortunate. Hard to coordinate that sort of thing in solo queue. But what happens in that case is that we just both get hit by the same shots. I'm gonna go for the hard flank here. Well, I should get this. Wow, that took really long. It was definitely a harder commitment than I needed. I probably could have just gone for tower at that point. Getting a sibling into Splatoon and your videos have been a great help. Oh, awesome! Glad they're enjoying it. I was wondering why there was nothing going on the left, and it's because there's a Gloogadoolies there. And they're splatting everything. We're gonna have to respect those Gloogas. Oh my god. I was expecting I could cross that up, but then my my splash wall stopped it. So that didn't work. Well, I literally cannot stop that crab tank. So that's game. Sent you a new replay if you want that one was a code. Okay, cool. Yeah, we'll use that one then. You are here. Perfect. Just in time for us to... You know what? We can do... I think we only have one VOD reviewee for today, it's looking like. So, if you would like, we can probably get in a game or two before we get into the VOD review. If you would like to play. But hop into Waiting Room VC in the Squid School server if you would like. Torpedoes on Dapple is definitely a good thing. Like, an aggressive poking sub is something that it really desperately needs, because it doesn't have the range to aggress anybody from any further back than its range. Don't have access to your Switch right now. Okay, that's fine. Can vibe in DMs though. Probably have, if I have any questions. Okay, sounds fine. VOD review, Patreon or subscriber only thing. How do you get these coaching sessions? There are two options. On Tuesdays, it's just a line. Like, whoever asks, they can get in line. Currently, the line is out to late January, so there is a little bit of a wait there. The other option is through Metafy, and those are paid. And so, when I'm doing VOD reviews on a different day than Tuesday on stream, those are Metafy lessons. But it's only really Tuesday that I set aside for the free ones. Yeah, there's a lot more availability on the Metafy stuff. Welcome back, Benjamin. Torp is still a bomb, but I feel like it works better. The nice thing about Torpedo for Dapples is that if the opponent decides to shoot it down, that gives them a window where they're not shooting at the Dapples. And that's not something that you get with, like, a suction bomb. If you gave a Dapples a suction bomb, then someone would sit on the suction bomb long enough to kill the Dapples, and then move off the suction bomb and still be able to get away. And that would be an issue for it. Discord DM is the way to handle it if you want a VOD review. That's where I do those. So, if you ask in Twitch chat, do not expect me to, first of all, to be able to see it, because it gets buried quickly. But second of all, to remember it, because there are a lot of chat messages. But a Discord DM is forever. If you ask on Tuesday or wait until... Well, by January, the list will be out to, I don't know, maybe March, if it's at the same rate. So you would need to ask in advance to be put in line, so that when that time arrives, then you're there. Anyway. We'll do one more, I think, and then we'll go into VOD review mode. Aim has not been great. I've been thinking, is this RNG or is this me missing? A lot of it is me missing. Yeah, just a little off there. Any recommendations on getting better at using Squid Roll? It's mostly a movement optimization, unless you're on the back of a wall, in which case it's one of your better defensive options. But it's not something that, like, you're going to use to start a lot of fights unless you're, like, a dualies player and you just want another roll. When I come left, I don't typically like people to directly, like, try to come with me. Because I don't feel like this is the strong side of the map for us. I don't feel like we have the advantage here. I would rather draw people's attention away from my team by going that way. Come on, drop off, drop off. You know you want to. Oh, shucks. I would rather draw attention to that side because it's not a place where we're going to try and contest as much. As soon as we get two people over there, now it's really easy for them to just, like, focus left and win a fight. But if there's only one person there, it's like, is this worth focusing? Is this going to really help us win the game? And they have to kind of think about that. Oh, on the back of the wall it still hits me? That wall just physically closed them in. That was very effective. It's a pretty narrow space. Sometimes you just can't move through it when you put the wall there. It actually acts as a wall. Who would have thought? Okay, this is going to be a problem soon. We're going to need to pop this. Not soon enough. We did get one with it. But that's a position where I really need someone pushing up. And, like, it's not like any of the weapons we have couldn't have pushed up. I'm probably better suited to it. But, oh, come on. I shielded my teammates specifically so that wouldn't happen to them. And then it happens to me. There we go, nice. Ugh. I hate how the wall is always going to land, like, in front of you there. I'm worried someone actually comes up from behind you. Okay. Let's see if we can't keep this safe. Cool. Just the leader. You just need to not get sniped off tower. Alright, there. Ended up on tower. And I still got blasted anyway. Oh, it was a bomb? Is it behind me? Whatever, we win. Motion aim videos have really helped me improve the game as well as your zone control videos, so I thought I would stop by. Welcome. Good to have you. Alrighty. Well, that sets us up pretty well in the series. Maybe we'll come back to finish that one at the end of the VOD review here. But for the time being, we have business to attend to. It is time for learning! Learning! Okay, so Neo... Did you DM me anything, Neo? I do not see a DM with a code. Oh, there we go. So on the 16th. So that was only 6 days ago. That's a code. That's a code. All right. Playing with my IRL friend, we were calling out a little, but nothing too much. There's a point where I suss out right mid after he dies because he said he later on right they might have jumped. Okay, there we go. Thank you. So that's gonna be this. And then, oh, one of these. And then a little pinch of this. And last but definitely not least, some of that. All right. Those asking for access to the Discord and whatnot, there is that. This will give you all of my links. It's got the YouTube channel where I post like long form content as well as shorts. The TikTok where I post all of the same things I put on YouTube Shorts. The Twitter. It's also got a Patreon. I do this full time, and so that support is definitely much appreciated. Medify, where you can pay for the private lessons if you don't want them to be on like a Tuesday 2 months from now. And I think that's all of the things. I'm probably forgetting some of the things. The Discord server's there too. All right. Freeze frame. Beautiful. Beautiful. Oh, okay. I thought for a second my webcam had died, because that happens sometimes. All right, so we're going to just chill here for just a second, looking at the back of this Octolink's head, while I go and use the restroom. So I'll be right back. Prochera will entertain you while I'm gone. And Devi, feel free to hop in the VC if you would like to provide Hydra tips. My cat made a meow at me, so I think he's gonna come over. Here, kitty. Look at the comfy thing that I just put in my lap for you to curl up on. It's gonna make it nice and even and level for you, so that you're gonna not feel like it's unstable and run away. Yeah. Come on up. Come on up and say hi to the people. The people would love to see you. Sorry, I didn't have my headphones on. Sorry if I was interrupting you. Okay, there is Doofy. And Cat?
Jerry. Oh, Cat?
He's considering it. He's looking at it. I'm patting it so that he knows it's solid there, and he knows that he can jump on it. Come on. Oh, man. He's thinking about it. He's rubbing his face up against the chair. Come on, buddy. Let's go. Let's go. Look at how much room there is up here. Look at how cat-friendly this space is that I have created for you. Oh. He's doing the thing where he's sizing it up. There he goes. There's the kitty. Well, I can't actually get the camera down low enough that you can see him, but you can see his tail.
The cat butt cam.
All right. Oh. Now he is messing with the cord for my headphones, so that might become a problem. Currently, he's trying to rub his face against it, which is pulling my head, but eh. We've got a cat in our lap. We're not going to complain. Okay. Success. So, we are here talking about Neo's Hydra.
Screeches.
Yes, that is a thing that I do need to do. And I'm going to make sure that I continue petting the kitty while doing this with one hand so that he does not decide to leave. This is very important. Okay. So that should be there for you, Devi.
It is.
Okay.
I can see.
Cat VOD review pog. Yes. Kitty, what are your opinions on the Hydra splatling?
Meow.
He's purring, so that's all you really need to know. Okay. We've got these are some weapon comps that are in Splatoon 3. Hydra, dualies, tetra dualies, and heavy. So if I'm the heavy player, I'm thinking to try and play this like a midline heavy, and then we can kind of almost sort of have a reasonable comp from this. The other team, though, I don't even really know what they do with this, because they've got Hydra, E-Leader, Jet, and 52. So the 52 is going to be all out there by themselves, with everybody else looking at their backs like, we wish you the best, son.
See, this all goes to show of which backline players, like when they realize that they have more than one backline sharing this role, who's actually going to adapt to this and who isn't. So there's a lot of information you have to gather from these two comps alone on how to play it in the first 30 seconds.
Yeah. I would think you probably want the Jet trying to play more aggressive, more midline, and then you're trying to split the E-Leader and the Hydra up onto opposite ends of the map as much as you can. Because I feel like the heavy on Neo's comp here is capable of going up and actually doing some more midline type things. But I don't know. It might be a little bit scary for them with that many long-range weapons looking at them too.
It all depends on if seeing Hydra and E-Leader lasers scares them, or if they know how to play the corners. Because if they know how to play the corners, then yes, they can play midline. Otherwise, if they end up playing the back, then the Hydra's got to do it in a different wing.
Alright. See what we can do here. So one of the things that I'm thinking to do right away is spot where my heavy player is going, so that I know what angles I should be playing. And it looks like they're heading forward with the rest of the team here, so we're going to take the traditional snipe angle here, and we're just going to go for paint on the zone. I like this in general. We end up getting 2 picks with it, and we're able to push up. I think that speaks largely to the stronger pushing power of this team. You've got the dualies, both sets of dualies, that are going to be able to aggress enemy positions instead of having to wait for the enemy team to come to them. So they're able to jump on the Jet here. The 52 gets caught out by something, and now you've got a big advantage. And all we need to do is not get sniped. Nice. Yeah. Okay, dualies are going to clean house here. Very good.
What a great opening.
What's the aggressive position that you would like to take as the Hydra player here? Are you heading... It looks like they might be looking for this block. Is this where you would go, Devi?
There's 2 down. You want to figure out where the 52 and the Jet are.
They went down early. They're respawning.
They went down early, so they're respawning. You should be up at their snipe grate at this point with the dualies.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was thinking, like, you take the most aggressive position possible, because every single player on the enemy team has been splatted. I wasn't sure... The reason I asked Devi is that I'm not sure about the timing on that play. I'm not sure whether there is enough time from that position to get that far up. But I'm thinking that there probably is, and that's the first thing that I would try if I were playing this weapon. It's just, I'm not sure if I were to try that, I would get up there and then realize, oh, they can already get close to me. This is probably a mistake, and I need to wait for another wipe.
You definitely want to, especially since you saw that you had 2 teammates ahead of you, and you've got one behind you, so they're basically guarding you. So if one drops, they're right there to punish it.
Mm-hmm.
So if the heavy isn't already up there, then you can kind of play this bottom right block and shoot over top. But if the heavy's not there, then already assume that aggressive position, especially since you can hit even the top right corner. You just gotta watch the E-liter peak, but you can beat an E-liter peak or even just push it back with chickens.
Yeah. Looking at this right now, it looks like we're like painting up on the right-hand side. And here's my thinking. What if we stop them from getting to the right-hand side by being further forward? Like, there is nothing within your range, maybe even within 2 of your weapons' range, for you to be afraid of right now. So if you'd gone up there and been working with the dualies up there, that would have been a much harder lockout. Than standing here on zone, you know, there's always the risk you get splatted and end up painting the zone. If you can possibly avoid it, you always want to not be on the zone.
Keep this frame as well. When you're done, I have something to add.
Yeah. So, yeah, for a variety of reasons, you'd probably want to be further up. I kind of like the right-hand side so you can hit up over the top onto that ledge, at least. And so if somebody slips by your dualies to the right, you've already got shots on them. You also want to consider the angle that you can hit a booyah bomb from. So you don't want to get, like, you're right up in front of a wall when you're popping that. But, yeah. What were you going to say, Devi?
Okay, so just looking in this frame in general kind of also gives an idea of where the 52 and the jet were when it comes to the ramp stage. You probably still could have made it up there, but if you didn't commit to it right away, just before this frame, we saw the 52 shots just in front of the crab, and you can also see the jet shot coming out on that right-hand side. So if you're not committed to that up top, definitely go behind that right block there, because you can quickly charge up and pick off the jet because it's revealing itself right now.
Mm-hmm. And we know that that's the jet because it's a very long-range shooter shot. Like, the 52 doesn't reach at that angle that far. And again, this is a question of, like, we're hiding behind the cover in mid, but what is there for us to even be afraid of from here? Our team is so far in front of us that they are the first person that the enemy team is going to encounter. So let's get up somewhere where we can help them out a little bit more. Can you even reach something? Yeah, from this far back, I don't even know if you can hit something from very far away with the booyah, because you're aiming uphill, so you're going to lose a little bit of distance there. So we're definitely too far back. And, like, what might be happening is that now that your team is finally being pushed back on the front lines, this is the position where you like to defend from. And so you're in the habit of feeling like that place is safe, that place is the good place to be. But what should really be happening is you want to be recognizing the state of the game and seeing, okay, right now it's safe to push up, and maybe later when the front lines are getting pushed back, I will need to back up and reposition. But staying in one position the whole match is not the answer there. Now here we start to push up, and this is where we're starting to lose our advantage, and so this is actually where you might want to start playing a little bit more defensive. We see an ink vac come out, so that's going to have an impact on what your frontliners are going to be able to do. One of them goes down, and then it looks like you go after the Hydra here, but you're not spotting out the ink vac shot. This is something you can definitely still react to. If you just drop into squid form, cancel this charge, and swim left, you're fine. Like, that is plenty of time to get out of this, but you tunnel just a little bit too hard on what's going on the right. I know what happens to a lot of splatling players is that they over-prioritize saving their charge, because saving your charge is, like, if you can possibly keep firing the weapon, you kind of want to, because you only get so many opportunities to fire it since it takes so long to charge back up. So you want to get value out of it if you spent that time charging it up. But if your life is threatened, you gotta get out of the way. And so that takes precedence. Here, you gotta just swim, drop out of it, cut your losses. it's a couple more seconds to charge up the Hydra. It's 13 more seconds to get back to the middle of the map after you're splatted. Probably longer than that, actually. This is a really long map. You probably don't have super jumps back in. And getting up to the position that you're in again, that's going to take winning another fight. So definitely prioritize preserving yourself here.
The other thing is if you even have ink left and realize, like, hey, you've charged a bit, but yet you don't use that charge and you're squidding away, drop a bomb as you're backing up. A lot of people run into that bomb as you back up in the straightaway.
All right. So unfortunately, we are going to lose the zone here. That, I will say, I think that position is strong enough that that could have been a 0 to KO. I think that the team absolutely could have held if we'd played a little bit more aggressively, if that Booyah had been able to have more impact. Even if we just stayed alive long enough to be able to back up and hold them off the zone, I think there's a good opportunity there for your team to just win without letting them have zone in the first place. Because now, something that I've been pointing out a lot is this isn't, like, fully true. Like, this isn't perfectly correct, but it helps sometimes to think of splat zones as more of a high watermark mode than it is a cumulative scoring mode. Here's what I mean by that. Someone would say see the 18 remaining and be like, oh wow, you guys are really far ahead. Which, like, kind of yes. But also, the way that the penalty works, if you get a big score line like that, currently, in order to increase your score any further and get to KO, you need to score 81 points. That's almost the same as just starting from 100 and KOing. Now, what breaks this a little bit is if the zone goes back and forth a lot, you get smaller penalties than this, and so there it is kind of more cumulative. But consider now that in order to win this game by KO, you have to do almost as much work as you already did. And so, especially if you lose lead here, that's a huge deal. Losing zone in general is just to be avoided if at all possible. Sometimes it's worth even getting splatted to get the zone. Now, most of the time when you're splatted, that takes painting power away from your team, and so it's not worth it for that reason. But the importance of keeping zone is not to be understated in this mode. Keeping it as opposed to, like, continually winning it back over and over again. So when we went from a match where we would have won it in 7 or 8 seconds and all we had to do was hold them back, to a match where now we definitely need to make a successful push back onto the zone and give them a penalty before they're able to make the kind of push we just made. So this puts the pressure back on us instead of putting the pressure on them to take the lead back. To answer the question about YouTube versus Twitch, I do stream to both, and people are welcome to be on both. I do read the chats on both. In fact, I have the restream chat that you're seeing on stream includes both chats. But I am currently not Twitch affiliate, as in I don't have subs on Twitch. And that's what people are probably talking about when they say that I focus on YouTube over Twitch, because YouTube monetization does more for me than Twitch does at the moment. I mean, you're welcome to view however you want to view. Just like if you are interested in, like, dropping a sub or something like that on Twitch, a membership on YouTube is the way it's going to have to go. That's it. Alright, I want to back up just a little bit because I haven't been looking enough at how this has been going here. I am not a fan of this position. I think that this gives you way too narrow a window. You can only see this, like, narrow sliver of the map in front of you, and then you've got a wall on your left and a wall on your right, and a piece of cover on your right. So you can see the zone, but you're too far away to paint the zone, and you also can't really see your teammates if they're not like dead center on the map, so you can't really help with any of the fights that they're trying to take. There are definitely angles that you can play that will let you see more and have more of an impact, and also get closer so that you can actually put that range to use. This just feels much too safe. Where would you...
I need to explain this one to you.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you backed up a little bit and saw what was happening here, as soon as we dropped in, the E-Leader shot. The E-Leader shot made itself known and popped Wave Breaker. It was completely green. You see how it's completely their cover, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what Neo does here is actually paints this path up, and then doesn't change positions, but I would change position right after you paint it up and take the left-hand side. But this doesn't hurt at all, because you're getting special, you're painting this ramp so that, I guess, if they had a front line, they can't come right up to you, because some 52s, even in a triple backline situation, will throw a wall, use this paint, and just swim directly up to you. In this case, it works out. You're painting the path, the other teammates are moving in, you have the Booyah Bomb, they all move in together. So I can see why the path was painted here, and I probably would have shifted to the left a little sooner. But this ends up being fine as long as you know that the E-Leaders moved from where they were, and we did see them back up to the right and even go back up to mid, so this actually works out really well in Neo's favor here. So I don't mind this at all. It paints up the ramp, so I put in air quotes, front line can't just rush up to get you, because no one else is going to, and if you don't, it's just kind of a free base, especially if everyone actually loses the team fight. So if it didn't go in a winning favor for Neo's team, they had a free shot at Neo if it wasn't painted.
Yeah. I can definitely see, the value of painting that, not just for defensive purposes, but also so that your team is able to move back down that ramp when they need to. I do think it was very conservative, like, once it got painted, to not go someplace else. Because there's definitely stuff to be painted for special that I would say is more relevant to the rest of the team to have painted after you've got that one lane clear. You could, for example, be painting the left-hand side if that was what you were trying to do, and getting that pit painted so that your teammates can drop out of there. There were also some fights happening on the left, and my priority would probably have been to try and get over there and have an impact on those fights and not leave them to my teammates. To give my teammates as much support as I possibly can to ensure that they win those. But they do end up coming out on top of them. It's just, usually when you leave your teammates in a fight, it's kind of a coin flip how that's going to go.
There were also 3 of them over there, so the farthest left I would have went is that great.
Yes, and I think that's a good spot, and I think that lets you, if I'm correct, I think that lets you hit up over the top of that piece of cover in the middle of the pit.
Yeah, you can get a piece of fall off over there if you get to the edge of the grate. So.
And that's plenty. That is definitely going to flush a player out of there into a position that a frontliner on the left is going to be able to use. So that's what I would probably have been looking for. And I'd probably look for that sooner, because I'd rather support the teammate now than get over there too late to help them. So it's just the E-Leader now. We saw a splash over here. I don't know what's happening there, but if you're trying to paint that, I think you're being a little bit overcautious. What do you think, Debbie?
That is the immediate thing, is where you throw a chicken. You just put it in that corner. If you think someone's there, throw a chicken. It'll trace it out for you. If it doesn't follow anything, you're fine.
Yeah. Is this isn't the most efficient painting. This isn't letting you move forward. This is really stalling you out in a way that, you just need that information now. Just use the auto bomb. This is where the E-Leader went, and I forgot my chicken.
Yeah, this is where the nice addition of auto bombs on Hydra helps, because if you think that there's a front line that may have a front line that just narrowly escapes you underneath a obstacle or something, and you didn't see them jump, the chicken just finds them and takes them away from their cover.
Alright, so that's 1 down in front. That's the 52, so that's a lot of the pushing power. I would be a little bit concerned about someone peeking out over this snipe, although you do have teammates that are able to aggress it. I would still be worried that like the E-Leader right side peeks you here or something like that. They go instead for a Wave Breaker that just gets them shredded instantly.
It was a good timing to go for the E-Leader, because they actually whiffed the first shot, and then Neo went for it.
Yeah. I do like actually backing up at first to see if someone's going to drop out to the right, because that was a play that it looked like someone was going for, especially at this point in the match. They need to make a desperation play. If they're going to cap the zone, it's not going to be by like using specials and going in carefully. They need to just like hold forward at this point. So now that the player on right is down, now I definitely want you moving back up there. This Booyah, okay, I guess it's on that one player, but like, you can probably handle that one player with your main weapon instead.
And there was another person there too.
Yeah, there was a teammate there, you mean, right?
Yep. So yeah. it was a 2v1.
Mm-hmm. And I'd probably just save the Booyah to like lock them out of being able to reach the zone here, but this should be game over right here. Very nice. Yep, that's the one spot that they're going to be able to go to the fastest, and you cover it with pre-firing. So, pretty quick match, and it largely due to the opposing team's comp just being absolutely awful.
It's not ideal, but on a map like, for example, Hammerhead, for sure, if, like I said, if those three backlines knew how to work together and crossfire with each other, one station's middle, one station's just to the right, and one station's just to the left, it is a very painful thing to go into, especially if it's communicated. So in this case, it's definitely not communicated, so you have the upper hand. But if you go into like open or something and you find actual people who purposely go double or triple back,
actual people as opposed to, you know,
yeah, like, well, you know what I mean. Like, I want to say some of the more experienced, because there are comp teams out there that are running a double to triple back, and they communicate it really well to make it work, which makes it a lot harder to move in on in this case. So you didn't really have to, how do I say, adapt to that, because they weren't applying as much pressure, and your front line could just go in and splat them. But if they had control, you'd definitely be stuck more in the left wing or in your spawn. But in this case, that didn't happen, so that scenario didn't come up. Because Hammerhead's really hard to come back in when those backlines have full control.
Yeah, Hammerhead is a lockout and a half. It's a very frustrating map to try and play from the defensive side, because there's so many blind ledges, and there are not very many ways back onto the map, so you're very predictable wherever you go. There's almost no sneaking up on someone unless you're on the offensive side. So, yeah, it's hard to get back in on. You really need to use a lot of patience and to figure out where people are before you drop, and then use specials to push them back when needed. The old replay? Okay, got it. So, that one was real short, and so we're going to do another one real quick. Because Neo sent one earlier, and I'm going to pull that up. That is not the place that I wanted that to go, but we'll make it work. So here's that, and then we're going to set up OBS so that it's showing this. All right. Are you seeing this okay, Devi?
Yep.
All right.
As good as it's going to be.
Cool. So now I need to remember that it is a different button that I have to press to get it to stop and start. All right.
Oh my.
All right. Some minor adjustments, but all right. Are you able to see okay?
Yeah, I can see. I
Okay.
just looked at the two comps and was like, whoo, there's a lot to handle here.
There. Okay, I understand now. All right. Oh goodness. So this is Rainmaker Scorch. So I guess the Charger isn't necessarily completely a meta choice in this case, but your team comp is interesting. Their team comp is meta. That is a thing that is a thing that you would see Sayonara running. Um, so, oh dear. So a big problem for your team comp is going to be paint. Because you've got two weapons that don't want to have to paint. They want other people to paint for them, and that is the Luna Blaster and the Splat Roller. They want to be able to use the paint that is already there to shark, not giving their position away, and use that to get close to the enemy team so that they can use their really quick kill times. So the problem with that is that if your splatter shot decides that it's going to play aggro here, that only leaves you to do the painting. So watch out for that to be the case. If the shot is really going in super hard and just trying to play aggro, despite the fact that that's the only thing that the Luna Blaster and the Roller are capable of doing, you might have an issue there in terms of having enough paint for two of your members to do anything. Meanwhile, they're going to be running into a barrage of fizzy bombs. Everybody on the other team has a lethal bomb. The Roller technically has one, but it's not going to hit the Scorch Gorge pedestal. So that one's not going to really help you. You don't have one, so it's only really two bombs that your team has. Plus you've got a Luna. You do not win this pop, I would presume. Yeah, that's a lot. So we'll see how we play this.
Yeah, I was about to say, I don't think that's a very funny-looking Rainmaker.
That is a very funny looking Rainmaker, isn't it? With the multiple checkpoints that are square that I totally could have seen on my screen and just chose not to. Yeah, so you don't have to worry about popping the Rainmaker, thank goodness. That immediately makes your comp drastically better, actually, because those are weapons that are pretty good at clearing the tower, in the case of the Luna, and staying on the tower in a bad situation. In the case of the Roller, you can just put the Roller down and walk over people. I still don't like this comp better than their comp, because their machines are going to be really good at clearing the tower, and you've got suction bombs that are going to get thrown on the tower by the shot, which, I mean, I guess you have too, so I should consider those a moot point. But they're still going to be better for fighting and taking space. So we'll see what we can do here. See if we can get some chip damage down, so that maybe you deal some damage and the Luna indirect follows up from that or something like that. We see someone on the left-hand side. I'm hoping that we immediately start taking shots at them. They have paint control around the area here, and I'm worried about my teammate below us. Okay, good. We fire those shots. Perfect, perfect. Exactly what we wanted to do. Unfortunately, we're not able to actually finish them off. We actually do two instances of damage, but because that is our Luna Blaster, and why are they're firing at literally half the range away from this player, so there's really nothing that they can do against that machine.
There's something else that I'm noticing about the initial tri-stringer play, when you know how the vertical and the horizontal shots, it's kind of the same as Roller, right?
Mm-hmm.
Initially, Neo here is getting a lot of the vertical shots. There is one on tower, there is one on the side. I get we're trying to get the vertical shots over the backside of mid. With one kind of over tower and over mid, it's actually the horizontal shot that's going to provide more coverage and pressure in this case scenario.
Yeah, I think we're focusing really hard on trying to trade back that Luna. But from here, we definitely want to focus on the tower. Yeah. That's a shot that's just vertical. If you spread the shots out horizontally, one will hit the back of the tower pole, but then two will hit on either side of the tower, and that'll force someone off much more reliably. That's risky. Yeah, you're up against a backline weapon that is longer ranged. I probably wouldn't want to take this position in particular. I'd want to stay behind cover. Because you can have an impact by hitting up over the top of cover if you need to, or just taking a different sight line. But as soon as you take a sight line they can see, now you're in danger.
Yeah, kind of a tough situation too with the machine guarding the other side.
Mhm.
It's a rough spot to be in, so you just kind of got to paint your feet and wait for a spot and keep kind of arcing shots over the right, or you could actually arc over the left. You can use your toxic mist actually on the left-hand side. That one alerts you to how many people are there and how close they are. And no one really wants to go into a toxic mist, so they'll either swim around it to come get you, or they'll back up from it, which pushes that machine back, so you can actually add a little pressure from the left-hand side.
Yeah, that was what I was thinking actually. Like throw a toxic mist where you think that the other player is going to be, and then just try and take that angle. All right, so we go down, but then the team just wipes the enemy team, and we don't really see how that happens exactly. But that's awesome. Oop. Fall off a little bit. Knowing that there is another player on tower, like, I think there's definitely an idea here, like, you get on tower and you're trying to communicate to this teammate by being here, like, go push up. Like, we don't need you, the roller, to be the one riding tower. I am better suited to that. But if they stay here, I would think I guess there's a bubble now, so you can use the bubble for cover and just take open sightline shots on people from here. But once the bubble goes down, I would probably want to take another angle so that I'm not as close to this wall in front of me, and I can maybe hit up over the top of it a little better, and be a little bit less visible to the charger too. My general thought about Tri-Stringer is you have the tools in your kit to be a factor in almost every fight that your team ever takes. Even if you're out of range, you can launch a killer whale at it. Even if you're out of range of the main weapon, or you like want to close off a certain area that you can't reach with it as easily, you could just throw a toxic mist on that area and then move away or something. But like, try to do something with one of your three weapons to every single fight that is happening on the map at any point in time. Because I think you definitely have the ability to do that. You charge up a whale here, for example, and if you're able to get that whale off while this fight is going on, that might change how this goes for your teammate over there with the Zuka. It's probably a little bit late that you get the special at this point. Wow, nice. All right.
Pom-poms to that. That was fantastic.
Yeah, they all kind of piled up on top of each other, and it looked like they weren't really respecting the whale enough, so it only took single shots to pick all of them for that.
I was kind of sitting here like, I wonder if this whale's too early, and then I'm like, wait a second, you can see at least two of them, potentially three in the same corner, so the whale plus the follow-up shot predicting where they're going to go up on snipe, it's ta-da!
Yeah. Like, you definitely don't want to be in the position in the first place where the splatter shot goes down. But once you saw where the opposing team went after that, like, that whale is a great response. From here, if somebody is able to get up on top of the snipe here where you're firing shots, I feel like you've already lost the tower. Because, like, they have to push further to get up here than they do to actually reach the tower. So I think this is probably too conservative from here. Would you say, like, the back right corner here, Devi?
You could actually be closer up behind the tower, because that's such a narrow point. You only have to really worry about the two upper platforms, so like the snipe and the upper right. So you can be relatively close to behind the tower, just realizing how close the other one is, because you can see a machine slosh just behind the left-hand side. So they're near there, but you can still kind of play behind it and use that as your cover, while still shooting from, depending on which side of the tower they're on. And then you add pressure, and they're not going to want to go near the tower. So just even keep it misted, and the tower is your shield, basically.
All right. Yeah, I like that idea. We see that our teammates are pushing up on the right, and so launching the whale here gives them information about opposing positions and also does a little bit of chip damage that they're able to follow up on. So I think that's a pretty good use of it there. If there weren't teammates pushing up with that whale, then I would definitely say that's not a good idea, because there's no way for you to add damage to it. But since they're there, that definitely works. From here, I'm worried that the frontliners rush me, but they don't seem especially interested in doing that. I think against stronger frontliners, you do get rushed there because they know to clear the area of players rather than just like sit on the tower and wait, or like paint up area of the map that doesn't matter anymore because they're going to be able to get access to mid again. So this works against these players. I don't think this would have worked in more of a competitive environment.
If you had Toxic Misted your left, it would have actually kept them out a little bit, because again, not a lot of people approach inside Toxic Mist unless if they know they have a guaranteed pick with their range. But with what you were fighting with two machines, they're not going to want to get stuck in there because you're going to be able to splat them before they can actually hit their second slosh, depending on how much ink they have, so it protects you long enough. But it's still probably better to keep behind the pillow even, or just adjust to it, but the mist does really help stall people out.
Mm-hmm. They are not doing a good job of removing you. You are a big pain in the butt for them right now, so this is good. I like how, like, most of the time, when one of your teammates goes down, you're able to follow up here and get the trade back. Like, that's looking good. The Charger does get up there, and that is something that is a concern to you. Right here, at this point, I'm, like, trying to abandon charge and swim away instead of firing another shot. That just gives them too long to aim at me.
Again, this is where Mist comes in handy. You know that this position that the Charger's in is a primary defensive position for most backlines. You're going to find them up there. You did splat them up there once. They were up there. This is, I think, the second time they were up there in the defense spot. Put your Mist up there. Make it harder for them to come and approach you. And some of them will take the risk, but a lot of them don't keep themselves in the mist, because as soon as some other pressure is thrown at them, they can't move. So they won't want to take that spot when there's mist on it.
What I would want to do right now before I put myself on top mid is know where the Charger is. Now, we can see now, you know, there's a splat bomb flying through the air, and that's the only weapon that has the splat bomb on this comp. But you went up here before then, and I'm worried that, like, there's a Charger who's already watching this. Where does that come from? So that comes from, like, in the front left-ish. And there it is. So yeah, that was pretty close, actually. That almost got to you. So that's something where, like, you might want to take a position with a little more cover, like a not quite as open a sight line, just until at least you know where the Charger is, so you can know whether that spot is safe, because otherwise that probably could have been an easy pick if they just, like, scoped you out and been able to hide their laser long enough. Nice. Nice. Yeah, they're not paying enough attention to you. They're looking at the tower, and you're taking full advantage. It's unfortunate that the whale parted the way that it did when going after that player. It was nice that you were able to get this one who came up on the right-hand side, but it looked like you were trying to aim that around the tower at the player who was there, and it was not going to track them from that angle. Nice. Yeah, we definitely want to scare the Charger away from this from safety. So, like, I kind of like the thought for trying to get vertical shots up over the top, because we've got a jump that is definitely in range of this laser, and we need to fix that. The problem is, if we put ourselves any further to the left, then we're just as vulnerable as the player who's jumping is. So I can see maybe you're, like, trying to time it so that you get your shot in before that player lands, but they're going to be able to react to this. All they have to do is let go of the ZR button, and they shoot. And they've already got their aim on perfectly to hit you if you step in front of it. So if we're going to contest this, we need to be doing the jump vertical shots over the top and hope that we have the range to get all the way over there. That was almost a collateral, actually.
I thought it was, in all honesty.
Okay, so Charger's down, so that means you have free reign for the next couple of minutes, or a couple seconds, I should say. Although you are also a frontliner down, so you want to make sure that you're keeping yourself safe. That's unfortunate. That is not a great jump from your teammate. There's maybe a little bit more that we can do to try and save it, but like with this player pushing on your right, I don't blame you at all for just leaving him behind a little bit.
The way I would have attempted to potentially save that is, again, using your sub. I find mist is not being used in this game. So you can mist, like, if you see it soon enough, again, this one was hard to really catch. Like, you can just see it kind of swimming now from middle, I guess, or on the back. But depending on the information we have, you can either miss the machine and look at the one that's going for that jump, because they do go for it before they land, so there is time to at least get a shot off to poke them back. Or if you see it soon enough, because yeah, you can see it swimming on top, you can miss mid and go from there. But I think because we know the machine's there, we could have misted the machine and at least taken a shot at the splatter shot, and maybe they would have backed up, or they would have been like, I'm just gonna go for the trade anyway. So that would have been the best attempt at saving your teammate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree that, like, I don't think Toxic Mist is a great sub-weapon in the general case, but, like, there are definitely some use cases for it here. It's not like you could just remove this Toxic Mist from the weapon and it would be unchanged in terms of its viability, right? You still have a sub-weapon. You still have an option. And it's important to consider those options, even if you'd maybe rather have a bomb or something else than that, like a torpedo or whatever else this thing wants. But it's still useful to have, and in positions where you've got to like keep one player busy while you deal with another, it's a great option for having that lasting impact on the map, that thing that you can throw and forget about for a second or two while you deal with something elsewhere, and then be able to turn back to it. So nothing that you do with your main weapon or even with your special is going to have as long-lasting an impact on the map as the Toxic Mist will, and that's worth considering. Okay, good job recognizing that Booyah Bomb. A lot of people would have seen that fall below them and think like, oh, that shot pinged harmlessly off the wall that I am standing above. Not remembering that the Booyah Bomb is going to do this crazy physics-defying thing up through the floor. Okay, I see what you're trying to do there, just saving that so that if they stay in place with the Inkvac shot, that maybe you can time a shot perfectly so that it hits them before they can unload and then you can get away. That is good counterplay. In that particular case, they are able to fire the shot safely, but again, you just dodge out of the way, and that's not a concern of yours, so that works out for you. I'm definitely worried here about the amount of paint that you have in front of you at this point. This makes you pretty easy to sneak up on as a frontline weapon, and if one of them is like ninja squidding up and you're not noticing that, this could be dangerous.
That is another situation where mist comes in handy, especially with the tower being that close.
Alright. I think that's generally... Oh, darn, they don't get that cleanly. It's like you've already hit this player, and your teammate has had like this many shots to be able to get them, and they're not even moving that much, so it's unfortunate that your teammate isn't able to get that one clean. It's like the machine stands here and sloshes like 3 times at you, and then moves maybe this far in that time. So I think that maybe the shot needed to just spend a little bit more time getting their aim lined up, and then just go in and finish off what should have been a clean win in their favor.
There's another thing to notice is the time. and how much they have to push till. If you notice the time before you take these aggressive plays on the side, so here we're at about 25 seconds. We know the tower's pushing. There's a lot of paint in front of you. If you know that there's someone directly in front of you, you really aren't going to get anything from this spot with the stringer. Like, the most you can do is mist, maybe paint it up a little bit, and you did try to go for pick as before. But in this amount of time, some of the other players are going to notice this, and you also have 2 members down. I would already be starting to get in that top left-hand position, so that way when they hit the first checkpoint, you can at least contest it. But then you can also remember, if the first checkpoint breaks, they have to get to 9. So you have a lot of time to prepare on the checkpoints. So especially when there's 30 seconds left, prepare yourself for the checkpoint when you know that there's a lot of paint in front of you and you're not going to get much done. Just get yourself into a better position where you know you can get stuff done.
In FLC's video on tower control fundamentals, he talks about how predictable tower control is as a mode. You know for a fact that the enemy team has to push into like these exact locations that are marked by a line on the map. Like, you know where they're going to be. And so right now, you don't have the resources on your team to be able to contest this because 2 of your players have gone down and there's not a lot of paint. But in a set amount of time, these players are going to come back up. And if you're in a good position by then, now you're going to be able to do something. If you stay in a weak position right now, a weaker position than you could get into in the next 5 to 10 seconds, if you stay in this weak position now, either you get splatted and stagger the team, or you're not any better off once your team gets back in. Given that you're gonna, need some time before your teammates come back in and you're able to contest the tower anyway, take that time to get to the most powerful position that you can be in by the time your teammates are back. And that position would probably be the top left right here. This is something that's really important, especially for backliners in tower control. Be willing to just back up, because there's not an awful lot that you're going to be able to do from every position. And when you have this much time and this many checkpoints that they have to burn through, just get to a place where you're like, from here, I mess up anybody who's on the tower. Because from right here, your feet are painted, you don't have great sight lines anymore. It's a right side peek situation for the enemy team as they come around. You're better off just running away at this point than you are trying to stand your ground. Again, we talked about how much paint there was in front of you. There also aren't any teammates in front of you, so right now this is frontlining. This is, you are the first person that the opposing team is going to see and the first player they're going to target and shoot at. So you end up getting 1, but they're going to be able to trade that. Teammate probably still... I still feel like that should have been a good play for you guys. That should have been something that you got advantage out of. So a teammate is going for the tower right now, and I'm really worried they're going to stagger. Nope, they're just going to wipe the enemy team and win the game. Cool. All right. So biggest takeaways there, I would say respecting the charger is really important. So just avoiding their sight lines, which is probably something you're already aware of. But to think about ways in which you exposed yourself to them that weren't really necessary here. Another thing would be not to just never use your sub weapon. To consider situations where it will be useful, because there were definitely some times. And then to also consider using the horizontal shots instead of the vertical ones for controlling the tower. I think that covers just about everything that we talked about there. Do you have anything else to add, Debbie?
I don't think so.
All right. Well, thank you for coming on and being our assistant backline teacher person. It's good to have your perspective on the positioning especially. And for those of you who don't know, there is a resource in the Squid School Discord server curated by Devi. Currently, it only has the Splatoon 2 maps, but I still find looking over them to be very useful for figuring out how they would work in Splatoon 3 maps, what she does is she takes the overhead views of the different maps and draws on the positions where she thinks they're powerful for backliners to stand in. So some typically for your traditional offensive positions, some for your traditional defensive positions, and then some that are a little bit less traditional that can work on a more situational basis. And that's a really good guide that I've found for when I'm trying to learn a backline weapon to see, like, what is it that I should be prioritizing in terms of what area on the map I control. So you can check that out. Again, it's in the resources channel of the Squid School Discord server, if that is a thing that you're interested in going and finding. I think at one point we did take some images of the overhead. So I think she has the intention of eventually creating those for Splatoon 3. It's a lot of positions to draw in because every map mode, every map. So I'm not surprised that it's not all done right away just yet.
I've also had to work through a different photo editor because I just used the overheads off of Sendu last time, and now like I just have the overheads myself, so I'm using kind of a different way. And it took me a while to figure out how to get the circles or just something to match. So they're in the works now that I have something situated, so I can move along a little quicker with them. But I just have to find the time to finish them because I also have like team stuff to prepare for and on my own coaching stuff and all that.
Yeah, totally reasonable. All right, so it's going to be Rainmaker, Hammerhead, and Inkblot. I'm trying to think of what I want here. I probably want to shift off of the 52 so that I have a bomb. And it's not that the wall is useless for this or anything, just it's nice to be able to have that extra popping power. Splash definitely isn't a bad choice here. I'm thinking I'd probably just go the shot here, though.
Well, I'm gonna peace out of VC for now. I will still be in the chats, so have fun.
Alright, sounds good. Thank you, Debbie.
You're welcome.
Yeah, we'll play a couple of games here, because we had fewer VOD reviews than typically, and so it'll be nice to get a little bit more gameplay. Survived my first reef slider by squid rolling. Dreams do come true. Congratulations. I'm proud that you've reached this milestone of human achievement. Yeah, you got 2 for the price of 1 because the game that you submitted was like a 1.5-minute knockout. It's definitely better to submit a video that has a little bit more meat to it, because you only really had to win like 2 fights to win that game. Saw you in a game about a week ago. It's not our team, but it was fun anyway. I'm glad you had fun. Sorry, not sorry. Okay. We've got a lot of midline. I'm going to want to play a little bit on the conservative side here, because I don't have anyone who's going to really hard commit to fights with me. They also have a lot of frontline weapons that want me at close range. So I can play this a little bit more paint-driven. They're going right up with the ink fact right away. That was an extremely fast special charge. And that gave us a lot of space to work with. And darn it, I didn't get them in time. I'm just trying to create space for my midliners right now so that they can move up. And ideally, someone picks up the Rainmaker at some point, considering we have this advantage. I feel like we kind of lost it at this point. Did get one. Okay, we're safe. Pop this. That missed them? Are you kidding me? I'm surprised that that one hit them. But we should hopefully be able to dunk. Yeah, there we go. And now we back up a little bit. Not worried about that. Okay, maybe I should be a little bit more worried about it. I'm not worried about it for my own safety. I'm worried about it for my team's. Absolutely not. This one over there. We are going to deny them that. opportunity. That's a really easy pick. That's a really easy squid roll to avoid. Oh my god. I'm going over anyway. Because they won't expect that, because they thought that they were controlling that space already. Haha. Oh, it's... Can I hit this? No, not quite. What if I hit this? Or this? I didn't hit either of those either. However, we trade that, I guess. How are we only up to 76 by now? I feel like we're all focusing on fights so much that we're missing potential opportunities to push. But we'll see what we can get done. Charger and Tri-Stringer. Oh, God! I am amazed that I'm alive. Hit him a couple times. There we go. Oh, boy. Can't move, can't move, can't move. Scared, fear, fear. They really didn't notice that, huh? Alrighty. You know what? I've got some confidence. I've got some confidence in my teammates here. I think we get enough of an advantage that I can actually push this. No. Man. Got sniped, but we still did get... Oh, wow, the ink fact was out, too. I'm surprised that didn't save me, but... We got some more progress. We got a pick. We moved our way forward. I am lucky to be alive. A little trick right here that I can't do because they keep hitting the wall on me, but I was going to squid roll, and it was going to be cool. Yes, right through the trail that your team has marked out that you will use. I'm not a fan of the fact that they have it currently. That shouldn't be the case. We had to let our team get that because we were going to die to the shot if we stayed any longer. Dicey business with the Tri-Stringer there. A little bit disrespectful, maybe. We'll try and pick this up. We need to survive this. Good. And we're getting whomped by the carbon roller. At least we trade that back. This might not be a safe jump. There might be someone watching this. Okay. See if we can sneak up. Oh, yeah. We can sneak up. Okay, they're over there. They don't know that I'm here. These guys don't know that either. And that's all of them.
Just so you know, with how far forward you're leaning, you're cutting half of your face off.
Okay. That's one of the players that can dive us. I'm not as worried about the backliners. As long as we just respect their sight lines, we should be fine. Okay. There. That's a little better. Hi, Chili. Okay. Second most scuffed Nintendo game? I don't know if that's true. Smash Ultimates Online was pretty rough. Alright. Well, that's a lot of points. That's not everything, though. Hi, Bear! Games have been good. Just had a 5-1 series. And we did a VOD review earlier for Neo. How do you position with long-range weapons that aren't backlines like Squeezer? Squeezer, I would consider a midline weapon. Squeezer is something that is going to move in response to what its frontline does and apply crossfire pressure to the enemy front and midline. There are some unique situations where a Squiffer can do jump shots over ledges. So like from right here, a Squiffer could just one-shot someone up there and also paint a lot above here. So what you see Ice doing a lot with that weapon is taking it to Ink Blot and shooting up over onto the enemy plat once they have control. And that it has had a pretty big impact historically. So you can also look for those kinds of unique situations where you're able to use the weapon's charge speed in the air. Because there's really not another weapon in the game that can apply that sort of pressure other than the Squiffer. My 5-star shot? No, I don't even know if I'm at 1 million yet. Well, I guess now we get to check. Hi, Fevev. What's up, Equilibrium? Welcome, welcome. We are at 1 million. So we're about a little under 100k. A little under 100k away from 5-star. So that could happen within a week. Shaky here and there. You're an actual teacher? Yes, I taught middle school English for 3 years. Is it important to put more stars on your gear? They already have 3 slots unlocked. Definitely not a priority. That's more of a stretch goal for how to burn your money once you have nothing else to spend it on. It might be useful with like a piece of gear or two if you're really trying to farm gear faster or something. There's someone flanking to the right. I'm going to see if I can catch them. Okay, we caught him out already. Very nice. This player is stuck, and I have to hit my shots in order to splat them. And I did not hit a single shot in my attempts to splat them. And then we all died. The we all died part was not what I was hoping for. Okay, this should be an easy cleanup. We did at least get checkpoint. That was something I didn't notice. Well, I'm surprised that didn't hit either. The rapid, I understand. The dually squelchers on the left, though. I thought that was going to direct them. Well, we ended up getting 2 down. All's well that ends well. We need to push up in front of this and not let the Rainmaker go in alone. And we get that for free because they are only one-shots. Beautiful. I was trying to pre-fire it, but they had better range. There you go, there you go. Nice! Those are good points. I'm not even going to jump because they're getting chased. Yeah, if I jump there, I die to the rapid. I'm just going to ignore that player. This player is one shot. There we go. Let's see if we can shift to another angle here where we might be able to sneak in. And we jump. We tried. They were watching. Can probably get a good Zuka shot on this. A little bit lower. There we go. Yeah, that was also over their heads. I need to be aiming lower on those. This raptor is stuck. Very nice. So we're gonna get this to reset. I'm not gonna pick it up because it's better for us to have it reset and take longer, I think. Honestly, it might have even been better for us to just keep it there. That helps us stall. Yep. Okay, so they're backed up, and that's fine. That's all I really wanted from this. Unfortunately, I thought that bomb was too far in front of me. Okay. Someone on the left. Yeah, there we go. Nice. That's 2 down for 1. This is a good trade in our favor. I'm going to try and prevent people from coming that side. Oh my goodness. It's like there's a big shot on the map. This is a really risky charger position. Yeah, I was going to say I do not like that for that. Not hitting a ton of shots, but you know what? It's fine. 1 minute left. What we might want to do is just take it to the left and stall with it there. If nobody does that, I might actually just do that. Let's just get over here. Go this way, ping them. Traded that. Taking it over here takes it further away from where they need to get it. And so it's more difficult, and it's also very stallable from here. Oh. And we don't have to do too much to prevent this. And then we already have shots on them. They're down, that's game. Because in order to get it out of there, they first have to push uphill, then they have to push all the way across mid, which we can see from our plat and have height advantage over. We already had height advantage over them when we were on the left, and then they have to shift all the way across our open sight line to the far right, and then they can get a push going. Because of the lack of pushing options on that map, it enables you to put it in a stalling position. Yeah, there are a bunch of people who are playing Stringer. Like, I think you're underestimating how many people there are that are interested in that weapon. This is a very passive comp that we're on. I'm worried what happens in a situation where we don't just get a ton of picks. Because we're going to defend well, but we're not going to be able to push super quickly. Hello, Bloomin'. Okay. They have double backline. I guess we do too. And a painting weapon. Yeah, this is actually a pretty closely matched comp. Difference is I'm more direct forward pressure, and the brush is more going to threaten the flank and stuff. Let's see if I can just pop one of these. A? A? Nope, 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 nope. Well, we survived. No, you don't. That is my range. I can control that. You are stuck with me, and I am aiming very, very badly, and that needs to stop. Needed to deal with the brush there. Okay, we did deal with the brush. So they trade to keep their charger alive. I don't know why I'm missing so badly right now. This has to be overcorrecting or something. So I definitely trust myself to hit those shots more often than I am. Yeah, they're gonna run over here. Fortunately, the ruler did not have any ink, and so they're trying to... Ah, the brush caught me, though. I just bought a little bit of time, I guess. So I think that they push the objective further if I don't make that play. Ah, they didn't push the objective at all. See if I can get a Zuka shot. I'm looking over here. I'd rather they not be looking over here. Oh my goodness. Creating a little bit of an escape route back here. Ooh, okay. We like. Someone else is picking that up because I'm pushing ahead of you guys. Man. Oh, that did hit and it was just laggy. Maybe that's what's happening. I don't know. Let's be careful here. Okay, we're just gonna shark back this way. Yep, and we're gonna hop over that. Ah, okay, fine. Fine, fine, I'll leave. Gosh. Goodness. Take it easy, guys. Thank you so much for the donation, Wasik. I will read that when I am not in mortal peril. Ooh, that was nice. I liked. Throw that. No, that. There we go. I was thinking that pop might get something. Okay, didn't respect the charger. That's fine. We're still in really good shape. Push to 9 is huge on this map. We can get a lot of special charge from here, and then we're just going to do this. Shoot, no, it scrolled up. You guys got me back into Splatoon to take it seriously and give me really good guidance, getting to S+ pretty quickly. Thanks for the content. Yeah, I'm glad that you enjoyed it and that you got value out of it. I'm going to sit back here while I scroll, and also because this is a good sharking spot. Got him eventually. We do not tempt the E-leader any further. But one of the nice things about what we're doing here is we're making them just take a really long time to get out. Because they're like, man, there could be someone sharking anywhere right now. Don't know how that missed. Now I'm dead. So we are 2 down. This is a little bit dangerous. Not a ton dangerous. Yeah, we're good. Beautiful. Might need to be leading my shots a little bit more than I think I have to. But yeah, we're doing well. We're doing well together here. The comp is not stopping us from getting pushes, which is the biggest concern. And then once we do get good pushes, we are able to just hold them really easily. Pretty nice. We'll keep going with these guys. Tips for improving with the splat dualies. So like someone already did say in chat, definitely work on mechanically having your aim set as soon as the roll is done. Because you have all this time that you're dodge rolling that you can't really be doing anything else. So spend that time getting your aim onto the target and like know how long the roll is so that you can get used to having your reticle lined up in the correct place. So that's one really important mechanical thing. Crab tank is really valuable, and you should definitely take advantage of it whenever you can. Get to high ground and use that to control a space that your team needs to push into. And remember that you are able to dive enemy ink with that weapon. So consider that. Nice, that's 2 down. Make that 3. That should have been 3. Said 3. 3! There we go. I saw their ninja squid. I didn't hit the 3rd shot. Very sad. Oh no, oh no, oh no, 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 they're flanking. Okay. Whew. I'm glad they got the whale off in time, that it pointed out the roller player. Alright, Brush saw it. Oof. Well, we got the checkpoint, but we're not going to get anything more. At least it reset. That actually buys us a ton of time to get back into mid safely. We're still going to lose check, but we're going to be in position to defend once they get it. Oh, crap. The roller being able to set up there was a big problem for us. It's basically up to me and Sleepy at this point. Yeah, okay. 13. Honestly, it could have been worse. Again, the aim is just not there right now. I need to spend a little bit of time in the training room, I think, and get that steadied again. Oh. Cross them up. In that situation, they're expecting that as soon as they start hitting me, I'm going to stop. But if I get hit once and then just keep moving, that gives me a better shot of actually winning the fight. I need to get up in front of this, or else we do not have a chance of pushing it all the way up. And now we gotta go. Beautiful. Okay. And that there is kind of the power of Ninja Squid. I would probably have been spotted out if they had seen splashes coming up that ramp. But they didn't see the splashes. They probably should have responded to me painting that direction around the Rainmaker shield, but they were too busy focused on the shield itself. But as soon as I came up that ramp, I had their sides, and there was no shot at that point that they were going to be able to stop me. Well, when my aim just gets weird, what you need to identify is what's actually going wrong about it. Like, what is the problem? Are you overshooting? Are you curving your aim when you on your way to a target instead of going in a straight line? Are you firing too early when you're not in range yet? There are a lot of things that can go wrong. You got to isolate those things. You can't just be like, well, aim bad, how make aim good? We've gotta figure out what variables are at play here. What mistakes are we making exactly? And that's something that the training room can help you out with. Right now, I feel like I am overshooting a little bit. I'm not quite as steady on holding on a target. Ew, that was an overshoot. That was an overshoot. So maybe that's what's going on here. Not stopping on the targets when I get there. So I need to keep a little bit steadier. Move a little bit slower. The way to learn not to do those things is if you see yourself doing them, slow down until you stop doing them. And only speed up once you're doing it 100% of the time. I was still in Splatoon 2, I had X rank, but now I'm not that good on Rainmaker. Always one, everything was different. It plays largely the same way. Like, the checkpoint system is definitely a big change, but it's also not like... that doesn't change the fundamental way the mode is played, it just means there's an extra stop. That last shot was actually huge. I uppaint this. And then I just rush this player. Dang it! Well, we get a little bit more of a lead for that. Or we just win. We could do that. Oh no, they're jumping it off! Ah, I couldn't get there. Unfortunate. However, we can waste some time for them here. I thought I got enough shots there. I'm lucky that I'm alive. Alright. Well, that gets us pushed up to here instead of playing from mid again. We're cool with this. We're trying to take an angle they're not watching. Actually, now we're trying to just paint for them and get to front so that we meat shield for that. I'd recognized that they had all gone down a little bit sooner. That would have been better. There we go. We're not going to be able to stay in there. That's unfortunate. I'm going to jump to our machine instead of the player who's being shot at. And now it's our teammates' job to pick up the Rainmaker. It's our job to push up, because we're the only weapon on the team that can apply this kind of pressure and, like, be the first player, the first point of contact for the enemy team. Man, I was hoping someone would shoot them on the way, in the back when they were turning the other way. But, nice! That's 2 down. Okay, we'll take that. This is going to be a really high KA game because we can't quite finish it, but we are very solidly in control. Oh, beautiful. We jumped to that. That would have gotten the 52, I'm pretty sure, if the teammate hadn't gotten it already. Oop. Ah, I'm getting shot blocked. Okay, there we go. Where are you going to drop it? There? Okay. That's 2 down already. And they left a way around this. Oh, but I didn't stop their movement around. Man. I'm worried about jumping to that, actually. Because there is one up, and they might be getting pushed. Yeah. This is fine. I'm trying to get into places where it's annoying to deal with me. Where they have to look away from what they would prefer to be looking at to deal with me. I'll move over to that side. Which means they're out of the way. Shoot. There are some beacons on the right. Hopefully we start taking out a few of those. Yeah, okay. This is fine. That player needs to get out. Okay, they didn't. They're gonna get one more push. So we just have to get back on defense. Notice how I went over to the left and then rotated right from there? They think I'm going out on the left now. Whoever it was that fired those. Doesn't really matter, we just ended up trading. Oh, someone directly below me. I still think I'm there. And they're also not protecting the Rainmaker at all, so we win. What made you want a main shot, and when did you make that decision? 10 attack splatter shot from Splatoon 2. It's a very aggressive weapon. I had been playing the NZAP up until that point, and so short-range shooters were what I liked about it. It has a really useful bomb, and also Inkjet is the coolest special in the game. Plus, it was better in that game because you could armor it, and it would actually survive a shot here or there. I really, really hope that the 10 attack splatter shot that they're putting in this game has the same kit. If it doesn't, I will be sad. Yeah, I am definitely firing a little bit early here. There are some shots that are missing before I'm hitting anything. I was a little bit behind my shots. If you're gonna miss someone, you want to miss them in the direction that they're moving instead of behind them, so that you paint their feet. I think part of it is that I'm missing shots because I'm moving while I'm firing. So I need to practice a little bit more while walking around and practice compensating for the walking. Misclick there. There we go. What other weapons do you recommend for someone who mains Splatter Shot and Splash? Right now, 52 Gal. Probably the only other one. If Zap gets a better kit, then definitely Zap. Don't completely rule out Junior, but it feels a lot different. Pro might also be a decent choice if it gets a better aggressive option. Nice. Okay, this is huge. We own their base now. Gotta watch out for this charger. Push me, push me. I out-damage you. I feel like we could have moved a lot faster than that. Like, I feel like we could have been at, like, 30 at least by the time I went down. That was very, very slow. So we don't get anywhere near as much of a push as we should have, based on how much we won. Oh, is that a bomb? I think it was a bomb. Yeah, it was a bomb. I was gonna say, that is not how a tri-strike looks like when it's flat too. Two racing at me on that side. I beat that player. Well, I should have beat them. I missed another shot more than I should have. But, okay, good. Wiper is a weapon that it needs to outrange me and never let me commit to it. If I can just commit to a fight with it and, like, get right on top of it and do immediate damage, it loses every time because its damage is just too low. I'm disrespecting the leader massively by being there, and I ran right into a bomb. Okay, nice. Yeah, okay. We were able to camp the jump and keep the Rainmaker up here, force him to explode it and take a little bit more time. It's a very long flank that's coming in from the left. I feel like that's longer than it needs to be considering where the Rainmaker is. We'll get this eventually. No, we won't. We will miss every shot. Ugh. Can we shoot at something, please? There were two people that went right in our line of sight, and we didn't fire anything at them. Oh boy. That was a perfectly winnable game. I'm gonna go use the restroom really quickly, and then I'll be back to finish up the series. In the meantime, though, here's a frog. Alright, thank you, Frog. Thank you for entertaining the people while I was gone. Let's finish this. Hi, cat. Quick. He's down on the floor below the desk at the moment, so I unfortunately cannot reveal him to you, but he is here. What's your opinion on the default splat dualies? There is a use case for them. It's a pretty niche one, but the thing that they do better than the splash is dive enemy ink. Like, if you need to get someone through enemy ink without even painting it first, that's going to do it better than the splash. That said, splash can still move very quickly, and it's a lightweight weapon as well, so it's not hurting that much for it. It's only like, if you want someone to partner with a Tetra Dualies, or like, what else is even going to dive that hard? Maybe like a zip casting carbon roller, then maybe you grab something like that to go for it. Beautiful pop. We all did exactly what we needed to do to make it happen. I know there's someone watching this. Okay, they're just going to take the safe angle. And then this guy's going to chase me, and hopefully my teammate helps. Thank you. I wish I could help them with that, but that is a dynamo roller. I cannot aggress that from here. Okay. It was most important there just to get control of mid. Woo! Let's go. I heard a Vimo. Oh, it's a membership re-up. Thank you, Andre. Oh, God. Okay, we're good. Okay, well, there's a lot over there. With callouts, I would have known where the danger was, so that would be a little bit less of an issue. We're gonna throw that over there and then pray that... Yeah, okay. Probably should have just jumped out again. Oh, it's a respawn Punisher heavy? Dang. That's mean. Nice, just the stringer. Where's the stringer? Stringer's right there. We just have to force them back. We don't even need to splat them necessarily, but we managed to do that too. Someone tries to peek around the corner to get this. We zoop. And we didn't get the direct on the first shot, so that's unfortunate. But 32 is still a pretty good push, and it looks like we got more. That's a wipeout. See if we can KO off that. I don't know what the stagger is on them, but they're going to be close. Beautiful. Very nice, very nice. I didn't have that huge of an impact there, but we were definitely winning fights. Y'all recommend stealth jump on my dually build? I recommend stealth jump on almost every weapon in the game. Maybe, like, E-leaders and Hydras don't need it as much. But, like, I've even seen splat chargers running it. If you had to main dapples, what kit would it be? The one that has the... So there's one that is being used in Rainmaker by top Japanese players right now. I don't know how well it's being used in other modes, though. Because Tacticooler is better in Rainmaker, and the beacons are really helpful. The rat playstyle works because the pace of the game is so fast. I don't know if I would want to run that on zones, though. I feel like the torpedo is a really good sub-weapon for it because it can force players to deal with something other than the dapples and give the dapples a lot of time to close distance so they can actually get in range. I think that's huge for them. And I think having that kit with something that's not just a death sentence like Splashdown was is really nice. Now, Reef Slider is very situational, and there are actually some Tetris players who are saying that they prefer Splashdown. I'm not at the point where I have that opinion yet. I think that there are definitely some times where you can trap someone in a Reef Slider, where trying to splash down from that position would have gotten you shot instead. I think, like, as a proactive special, it can definitely work to just get a pick. There is still the danger, of course, that on the end of it you get punished. But at least you get something done first. Like, I'd rather have a special that I'm guaranteed to trade someone on than a special that's just not going to ever have a hitbox before I get splatted out of it. So, that's my thinking. Stealth jump, I thought it was quick super jump. Oh, quick super jump, I think every weapon in the game should run at least one sub of it. I think if you can possibly fit it, 2 subs is better. I think there are some backline weapons that would actually prefer like 3 subs or a main. That is about the most I would go on it, because it gets harshly diminishing returns. But I would definitely run at least one on literally everything. What should I put on my gear for Nautilus? sendu.inc/builds. Go to that link and click on the Nautilus. People who are better at Nautilus than me will tell you what they run on the Nautilus. I know there's an argument that was made for Intensify Action on Nautilus, which is that the Nautilus, because of the charge hold mechanic, benefits a lot more from squid rolling. And that therefore you're going to want the improved aim RNG when you're midair trying to use those. So I think that player runs like 3 subs of it. So top fragging and supporting your teammates in fights is important. You know, that does give you opportunities, but the objective is how the game is won at the end of the day. And the splats that you're getting need to be in support of your team playing the objective. If you're splatting people who are not relevant to the objective, then you're actually making it more difficult to win the game, because the fights that you're taking are not fights that are actually letting the Rainmaker move forward or letting the tower push. So it's important to fight. Like, you're not going to win a game of ranked without splatting someone, but you can definitely get very little value out of certain fights. So you want to be like making sure that all of your decision making is based on how do we clear players away from the objective? How do we get players that are trying to defend the objective rather than just splatting players who are in Narnia right now? Alright. Well, that is going to do it for Squid School for the day. I just wanted to get that series done. And we got all of our VOD reviews done as well. So thank you everybody for watching. We are going to send you all over to... Let's send you over to Barry. It's been a minute since we've said hi to Barry. Barry is a mid-level to... upper mid-level, I would say, Charger player. Probably like Div 2, Div 3 kind of region. Very experienced Charger player and a long-time streamer who you've probably seen him at the top of the category if you've been sticking around on Twitch at all. For those of you who are on YouTube, if you want to participate in the raid, hop on over to Twitch real quick. We've got like 10 whole seconds while I say, hey, I have links. If you would like to click on them, I would really like you to click on them. They bring you to the YouTube channel and the TikTok channel and the Discord server and my Patreon and the Medify, where you can support me if you would like to. If not, that's okay. We still love you all. Thank you, Squid friends. We're going to go and say school's out to Barry. School's out! Woo!